F15 saya tengok F15 dan F05 ramai yang tak set kerja tolong hantar. Just because saya tak minta as a submission doesn't mean you tak perlu hantar. Sebab kalau awak tak hantar, saya tak tahu setakat mana yang awak boleh faham, setakat mana yang awak tahu. Okay? And saya akan assume yang awak tahu je semua benda. Sebab tak hantar kan? Okay, let's start. Alright. We are going to discuss tutorial number 4. The first page, okay? We start with the first question. Okay, this one. Masuk. Alright. The first question, determine whether the number keyed in by user is positive, negative, or 0. Okay, so bila kat sini saya nampak tak yang saya highlight warna biru ni, number keyed in by user is the input, okay, input required. Okay, so diperlukan input tu adalah number, right? Yang saya highlight kuning ni adalah condition, the positive, negative dan 0. So this kind of questions when you see, you highlight dia punya condition ataupun results. So when you highlight, you tahu berapa banyak condition ataupun berapa banyak option yang dia ada dalam satu soalan ni. Macam ni contoh, positive, negative or 0. So ada 3. Okay. So let's have a look at the punya flow chart. This is the flow chart lah. Right. Kejap, mana saya punya, oh ni sudokod saya. Okay, ni sudokod saya. Okay, so begin, read number. Tadi dia kata number key in by user. So read number. Okay, if number is more than 0, okay, greater than 0, print message number is positive. Else, if number is less than 0, which is negative, print message number is negative. Or 0. Else, selain daripada greater than 0, less than 0, nombor tu mestilah kosong. So dia akan print number is 0. This is how it looks like. So the start, the read number, then dia akan check number tu lebih daripada kosong atau tidak. Lebih daripada kosong, dia akan print positive. Kalau tak, dia check the second condition. Number tu less than kosong, kalau betul, dia print negative. Kalau tak, dia terus print 0 and then end. Okay, so this is question number 1 for tutorial 4. Number 2, okay, create a program that will ask a user to enter age for 2 people. Kat sini dah mention dah, input dekat sini, dia ada age for 2 people. Age 1, age 2 lah kiranya. Okay, so display the first person is older when age 1 is greater than age 2. Okay, display orang pertama lebih tua. Okay, bila orang pertama punya age tu lebih besar ataupun lebih tinggi daripada age 2. Else display the second person is older. If both are not true, kalau dua-dua tak betul, dua-dua sama umur, then both person are the same age. Okay, this is the pseudocode lah. Okay, so begin, read age 1, age 2. Kenapa ada input age 1, age 2? Dia minta kat sini dah. User to enter age for 2 people. Okay, so age 1, age 2. If age 1 is more than age 2, print message the first person is older. Else, if age 1 less than age 2, print message the second person is older. Else, print message both are the same age. Okay, so this is how it looks like in flowchart. Okay, dia akan read age tu dua-dua untuk dua-dua age, dan dia akan check age 1 lebih besar pada age 2 ke? Betul, okay, dia print first person. Habis, end. Kalau salah, dia check the second condition. False ni, dia pergi kena check second condition. Check second condition ni, age 1 is less than age 2. Betul, print message second person is older. Habis, tamat program. Kalau salah, dia akan print message both are the same age and the program. Right? So that is question number 2. Okay. For number 3, this program prompts a user, okay, to key in a number as a choice for his or her favorite holiday destination. Okay, kat sini dah minta dah. Dia kata user kena key in number as a choice. So input dia adalah number. Okay, if the choice is 1, it will display Pulau Langkawi. If the choice is equal to 2, it will display Cameron Highland. If the choice is 3, it will display Genting Highland. And it will display Bukit Merah if the choice is equal to 4. Otherwise, a message your choice is not in the list will be displayed. So bila kita highlight macam ni, kita nampak berapa banyak choice yang ada. Kalau kita tak highlight, kita akan confusing, kita akan ingat sampai sini je Bukit Merah. Ni kita tak nampak. Right? So that's why when you see question, lagi-lagi soalan yang panjang macam ni, highlight. Better highlight apa input yang dia nak, ataupun kalau tak di input pun, kita highlight mana soalan yang tak di input tu. Right? And then kita highlight the output. Right? So that we can see the condition. Right? So this is the pseudocode. Okay, so we begin, read choice. Okay, user akan masukkan choice. Kalau choice tu adalah 1, dia akan print Pulau Langkawi. Kalau 2, Cameron Highland. 3, Genting Highland. 4, Bukit Merah. Else, the choice is not there in the list. Okay, so this is how it looks like in flowchart. Okay, so make sure each of these arrow ni betul. Okay, so like this, kita start dulu. Read choice. Okay, so choice. If choice ni adalah 1, betul. Kalau betul, true, dia akan print message Pulau Langkawi. And then, end. Tamat. Okay, kalau choice tu bukan nombor 1, false, dia akan check the second condition. Dia check second condition, true, print Cameron Highland. Kalau false, dia pergi check choice kedua. Dia check pula condition ketiga. Choice ni equal to 3 ke? Kalau 3, dia akan print ni. Kalau tak, dia akan check yang condition keempat. Check condition keempat, kalau salah juga, then last kali dia akan print your choice is not in the list. Right? So that is for question 3. For question 4, okay, if the temperature is 80 degrees or greater and the humidity is greater than 60%, most people find it uncomfortably warm. If the temperature is greater than 80 degrees and the humidity is 60% or less, most people find it warm but comfortable. The temperature below 80, regardless of humidity, are comfortable. Create an algorithm that represents this situation. So, kat sini ada berapa condition? Ada berapa?
3.
3. Very good. Ada 3, which is uncomfortably warm, warm but comfortable, and comfortable. So this is how it looks like. Okay, for pseudocode. So begin, kita akan baca temperature and humidity. Sebab apa? Dia kata ada 2 condition. Bila dia check condition, dia ada 2 input. Temperature and humidity. Okay, so dia akan read temperature, humidity. So if temperature less than 80, tadi dia katakan, temperature below than 80 regardless of humidity. So dia tak check pun humidity tu berapa, dia ignore the humidity, dia check temperature saja. So if temperature is less than 80, dia akan print message comfortable. Okay, and then dia check second condition. Else if temperature more than 80, okay, is more than 80, right, kat sini, it's greater than 80, the second one ni, greater than 80 degrees and the humidity is 60%, equal to 60% ataupun kurang daripada 60%, dia akan print out warm but comfortable. Else, dia akan print uncomfortably warm. Okay. Sekejap, saya check. Saya ada buat demo, saya rasa. Okay. Let's have a look at this one. So kita check. Okay, for this one. Check. Ini compile bila kalau yang tahu Java, okay, kita boleh gunakan terminal ataupun command prompt. Kalau untuk Windows boleh gunakan command prompt. This is a command prompt lah yang nampak ni Windows ni. Okay, this is a command prompt. So Kalau kat Windows command prompt, kalau kat MacBook it's a terminal. So bila Java file, bila awak nak compile Java file, dia akan tulis Java, lepas tu nama file awak demo.java. Okay, and then you run the file. Okay, dia kata welcome to comfortable calculator. Okay, this is where they test, they check. Okay, please enter temperature. Saya masukkan tadi dia kata apa? Dia kata bila 80, soalan dia, bila temperature greater than 80, okay, kita letak temperature 80. And then humidity pula, dia kata kalau lebih daripada 80, humidity greater than 60. Okay, saya bubuh 65. Dia akan keluar uncomfortably warm. Okay, so else, kalau let's say, kita bubuh, dia kata apa? Kalau dia kata greater than 80 tapi warm but comfortable. So temperature kena lebih daripada 80. So 85 and then humidity less than 60. So 60 lah kita bubuh, less atau equal to 60. Dia akan tulis warm but comfortable. Okay, so let's say kalau contoh next one kita try for the comfortable. So enter temperature, enter less than 80 lah sebab anything that is less than 80 dia akan turn out comfortable. So we check. And then masukkan humidity. Kita tak kisah bubuh apa-apa, dia akan tulis comfortable. Okay, so this is how it looks like in program. Okay, boleh? Saya pilih balik yang tu.
Boleh, Miss.
Alright. Okay, so that is for question 4. Okay, bagi yang tak clear, saya ambil yang ni. Tak perlu, saya tak mention yang comfortably warm punya condition because saya ambil yang ni, temperature negative. Negative, below than 80. Right? So this is how it look like in the flow chart. So read temperature, humidity, dan dia akan check condition pertama, temperature less than 80, kalau true, comfy. Kalau false, dia akan check the second condition. Okay, temperature more than 80, humid is equals ataupun less than 60, dia kata warm but comfortable. Actually, kalau ada yang tak buat, contoh kalau awak buat kan, soalan dekat sini awak kata if temperature less than 80, print message comfortable. Else if awak kata awak tak bubuh pun temperature more than 80, awak just tulis else if humidity less than equals to 60% pun betul juga. Kalau in programming lah, in coding. Tak perlu check because apa? Dia dah check kat sini. Kalau temperature less than 80 baru dia print ni. Kalau tak, dia akan terus check sini. So tak perlu dah check the first condition ni, temperature is more than 80%. Okay, boleh faham? Ke confusing? Boleh?
Boleh, Miss.
Okay. Okay, so yang temperature ni tak semestinya boleh buat lah, tapi in coding saja. Kalau dalam flowchart, you have to do it lah. In case takut terlupa ataupun tersilap. Alright. Okay, kita tengok the second page which is tutorial 4.1, question 1. Okay, print I love computer science. 20 kali, 20 times. So when dia kata dia mention berapa banyak kali program tu nak kena run. Okay, bila dia mention berapa banyak kali, berapa banyak apa total yang diperlukan untuk program to run. Okay, dia menggunakan while loop. Okay, so this is how it looks like lah. Okay, you can do it like this. The scary one pun boleh, kan one pun boleh. Okay, so let's have a look apa beza dia. Okay, beza dia is counter equals to 0. While counter is less than 20, print message I love computer science. Ataupun awak boleh buat kat kanan ni juga. Which is counter start dengan 1 tapi while counter is less than 21. Sebab apa kita start dengan 1? Right? So either boleh accepted. Right? So that is question 1. Question 2, print any 10 numbers entered by user. So bila ada number, dia menggunakan while. So bila while loop yang mana? Counter control sebab ada number. Okay. So we have to begin, counter equals to 0, read number. Okay, kita masukkan number, input number, read number. Then counter start dengan kosong. Selagi counter less than 10, dia akan baca number. Dia akan baca number dan dia akan print. Print any number 10 kali. Okay, 10 kali. Ulang sampailah salah. Dah 11 kali, dia akan end the program. Okay, so make sure when you write a pseudocode for while loop, make sure you write this one juga N1. Also for and if juga, you have to write juga. So that you tak ada confusing lah bila nak habis and if ke apa. Okay, so that is for question 2. Very simple. Question 3. Calculate and display the sum of 10 numbers entered by user. Calculate, display the sum of 10 numbers. Okay, how you do that? Okay, akan ada total. Okay, sebab kita nak kira the sum, akan ada total. Kita initialize dulu, kita bagi tahu kat komputer yang akan ada total ni. So total ni equals to kosong. Komputer dengar. Okay, so total equals to 0, counter equals to 0. So read num, okay, number yang kita akan masukkan. Selagi counter less than 10, okay, while counter is less than 10, total equals to total plus number yang tadi user dah masukkan. Then counter akan plus 1 untuk increment. Okay, and while habis saja lepas contohnya counter dah 10, dia akan print total. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Make sure dia punya ni, yang ini counter equals to counter plus 1 back to yang the first one, read number. Kalau tak pergi mana-mana, end lah, program tu tak boleh run pun. Okay, so make sure counter equals to counter plus 1, patah balik, read balik number. Then ulang, patah balik macam ni. Sebab tu dia kata looping. Pusing sampai dah ada 11, dia habis, print total, end. Okay, so make sure yang ni ada lah. Right? Question 4. Calculate and display the average of 10 numbers entered by user. Ni dah bagi tahu dah, entered by user. Display the average of 10 numbers. Macam tadi je. So tambah average. Okay, so tambah average. Kita kena kira average tu after the while loop. Tak bolehlah kita kira kat sini because tak habis lagi. So kita kena kira kat habis while loop tu. Average equals to total slash 10. Dia dah mention 10 kan, so kita boleh tulis terus. Divide by 10 and then print average like this. Okay, so read number total equals to 0. Kita bagi tahu komputer average pun equals to 0. Okay, then counter less than 10, kita check. Okay, the first one jadi counter pertama kosong, true. Okay, so total equals to total plus number. Then counter equals to counter plus 1, jadi 1, pusing lagi. Habis sahaja lebih daripada 11 round, lebih daripada 10 round, dia akan kira average equals to total bahagi 10, print average dan habis, end. Okay, macam mana awak susun pun tak kisah sebenarnya. Awak boleh letak false ni, yang ni ke bawah sini pun boleh. Macam saya sempit, sebab sempit saya keluarkan dia ke tepi dan habiskan kat sini pun boleh. Asalkan arrow tu yang kena betul, supaya bila awak baca tu awak faham. Okay, next question 5. Print the first 10 positive integer. Okay, this is the pseudocode. Dia kata print the first 10 positive integer. So maksudnya kalau macam ni dia tak bagi tahu kan user perlu masukkan number ke ataupun computer generate benda ni kan. So baca balik print the first 10 positive integers. So maksudnya dia perlukan user punya input. Alright. So begin counter equals to 0, read number while counter is less than 10 sebab dia kata first 10. Alright, if number is more than 0 sebab dia kata positif betul, so dia kena check positif tak nombor yang user masukkan. So kalau positif baru dia print number and then dia akan patah balik while loop. Kalau tak positif dia akan buat apa? Dia takkan kira pun counter equals to counter plus 1. Dia akan patah balik, dia akan read balik number. Dia akan ulang macam tu. Okay, sampailah 10. Okay, this is how it looks like. Alright, so start, read number, positive. Okay, dia akan kira counter equals to 0, counter less than 10. Okay, true, dia akan check. Number tu positif ke negatif. Kalau positif, barulah counter equal to counter plus 1. Then print number. Barulah patah balik. Okay, kalau let's say number tu false. Dia bukan more than 0. Maksudnya dia bukan positif. Dia adalah negative number. Dia akan keluar as false. So bila false, dia akan get back to the first one. Read balik number. Alright? Ini make sure this one. So in any cases for condition, for while loop or if else, okay, make sure you have a arrow for true and false, true and false. Right? Next question 6. Print the first 10 positive even numbers. Kalau kat sini ada dua condition. Dia tengok positif, dia tengok even numbers. Alright, so this is how it looks like lah. Right? So begin counter equals to 0, read number, while counter is less than 10. Okay, so while counter less than 10, if dia akan check, if number ni more than 0, dia akan check dulu condition pertama, positif tak positif number yang user masukkan. If positif, okay, baru dia check second condition. And number is divisible by 2. Sebab apa? Dia nak even numbers. Dia nak check even numbers ke tak. Right? Kalau dua-dua ni betul, true, dia akan print number. Also baru dia kira counter equals to counter plus 1. Kalau tak, dia akan ulang balik. Dia akan ulang balik and check one by one. Right? So this is how it looks like for the flowchart. Alamak, saya punya arrow tak betul. Okay, kalau bolehnya, awak cantikkan sikit, awak gabung yang ini dengan ini. Supaya taklah terabung macam ni, tak lawa. Okay, so start, read number. Okay, counter equals to 0. Counter is less than 10, true. Okay, kalau true, dia check. Number less more than 0. Kalau more than 0, okay. Kalau tak more than 0, dia buat apa? Dia akan keluar false. Terus start balik, read number. Okay, let's say number tu more than 0. Okay, positif. Then, dia tengok pula second condition. Number boleh divide by 2 ke tak? Kalau tak boleh, false. Patah balik. Okay, so this and ni adalah condition. Dia true. Kedua-dua ni kena true. Kalau tak boleh hanya satu saja true. Okay, so this and ni, awak nampak ni, simbol ni and ni. Okay, dia adalah condition untuk check. Dua condition ni kena dua-dua true. Kalau dua-dua true, barulah boleh pergi ke true. Kalau salah satu salah, dia akan false. Patah balik. Start balik daripada mula. Alright, so question 6. Ada soalan? Setakat ni ada soalan?
Tiada, Miss.
Okay, tak ada. Saya continue, okay? So question 7. Okay, print odd numbers from 3 to 39. Dia bagi tahu print odd numbers from 3 to 39. So obviously dekat soalan ni dia tak perlukan user punya input. Okay, dia nak komputer tu yang generate sendiri. So for this one, okay, apa dia buat adalah dia set counter equals to 2. Okay, so while counter is less than 40, okay, sebab apa 40? Sebab apa 2 tadi counter? Sebab dia kata from 3, dia nak start daripada nombor 3. Okay, so saya start counter equals to 2. Okay, counter dia kata 239. So counter ni kena less than 40 sebab saya nak last number yang keluar adalah 39. Saya tak nak 41 sebab 41 pun odd number kan. Tapi dia sampai sini 39 je. So saya nak sampai 40 saja counter tu. If counter not divisible by 2, dia akan check counter ni. Okay. Counter not divisible by 2, print counter. Sebab apa saya kata counter not divisible by 2? Kalau dia boleh divide by 2, dia kiranya even number lah. Kalau dia tak boleh divide by 2, dia ada odd number. Okay, so dia akan print number yang odd tu, counter yang odd tu. And then counter equals to counter plus 1. Else, counter equals to counter plus 1. Dia akan tambah juga contoh saya bagi contoh. Dia start dengan nombor 2. Okay, number 2. Dia start dengan number 2. So dia turun. Okay, 2 ni less than 40. Betul, true. Okay, pergi ke sini, ke bawah pula. Okay, block ke bawah pula, action ke bawah. So if 2 boleh bagi dengan 2. Okay, equals to 1. True ke false? 2 boleh bagi dengan 2? Boleh kan? So tak ada reminder kan? So ingat kan kat sini reminder. So dia adalah kosong. So ini adalah false lah condition ni. So false. Dia pergi balik bawah ni. Tadi 2 kan? Counter equals to 2 plus 1. So 3. Naik ke sini. So 3. Check pula. 3 less than 40. Betul. True. If counter 3 boleh bagi dengan 2 equals to 1. Dia punya reminder. Betul. 3 bagi 2 ada remainder. So bila ada remainder, true. Print number 3. Okay, this is how it goes lah. Dia akan start macam tu. Ulang sampailah 39. Sampai 40 dah true, sini dah false. False, naik balik sini balik, false terus habis. End. Boleh faham tak kat situ? Confusing?
Boleh, Miss.
Okay, boleh. Alright, Hashim. Saya assume yang lain selain daripada Hashim pun boleh sebab Hashim je yang jawab boleh. Alright, question
Boleh,
8.
Miss.
Boleh, Miss.
Okay. Alright.
Boleh, Miss.
Okay. So question number 8, print multiples of 5 which are less than 30. Which are less than 30. So begin counter equals to 0. Dia tak perlukan pun. Okay, ni dikata soalan ni dia tak perlukan input daripada user pun. Dia nak program tu yang run sendiri. So begin counter equals to 0 while counter less than 31. So while counter less than 31, kenapa less than 31? Sebab dia kata not less than 30. Okay. Kalau kita bubuh less than 30, dia tak akan pergi pun ke 30. Dia tak akan print pun 30. Alright, so in this case saya nak dia print sampai 30. Sebenarnya tak perlu pun. Okay, boleh awak tukar ke 30 pun boleh juga. So if counter not divisible by 5, dia akan print counter. Saya silap ni. Multiples of 5 which are less than 5. Ni saya silap. If counter divisible by 5. Not ni hilang buang not. Okay, if counter divisible by 5, print counter. So counter equals to counter plus 1. Else dia akan tambah balik. Okay, and then ulang. Like this lah. Right, dia akan check satu per satu. And then ulang. Kalau dia tak boleh dibagi balik 5, dia akan tambah number tu and then check balik satu persatu, ni ulang sampailah habis. Alright, sampailah less than 30. Okay. Question number 9. Okay. Question number 9. Print the squares of 10 numbers entered by user. Ni dia bagi tahu. Entered by user. Okay. So ada input. Alright. So print the squares. Okay. Dia nak squares of 10 numbers. So dia dah bagi tahu dah number. Berapa banyak dia nak kena pusing. Berapa banyak loop nak kena pusing. 10 kali. So this is the pseudocode. So begin counter equals to 0 while counter less than 10. So kenapa 10? Sebab dia bagi tahu dah nak 10 number yang entered by user. 10 round lah dia kena pusing run 10 kali. Okay, so counter less than 10, read number. So number equals to number times number sebab squares kan. So print number, then counter equals to counter plus 1. So this is how it looks like lah for the flow chart. Right, so counter less than 10, kalau true, baca number yang user ambil tu, dia akan minta input pada user. Okay, user masukkan number, contoh 2 equals to sorry, so number equals to 2 darab 2, print number 4, print 4, then counter tambah, ulang balik. Sampailah nombor ke 10, sampai ke 10 and habis tamat. Alright, so that is question 9. Okay, for question 10. Calculate and display the total for the first 20 positive integer. So calculate and display the total for the first 20 positive integer. So kat sini dia kata first 20 positive integer. Kat mana nak dapat integer ni? Of course lah daripada user. So memang dia tak akan mention user kena masukkan apa semua kan. Tapi kalau baca first 20 positive integer, awak pun tak tahu mana positive integer daripada mana kan. Of course lah daripada user. So there's an input. Okay, so begin total equals to 0, counter equals to 0, while counter is less than 20. Sebab apa? Dia bagi tahu dah. The first 20 yang pertama positif. Okay, dia bagi tahu pula positif. So this is the condition. Okay, if else punya condition. So if number more than 0, sebab kita nak tengok dia positif ke tak. Okay, so kalau number more than 0 positif, barulah dia total up. Kalau tak, dia buat apa? Kalau tak, dia akan minta lagi daripada user nombor baru. And then dia check lagi positif ke tak. Kalau tak, dia minta lagi pada user nombor baru. Okay, so this is how it looks like. So read num, total equals to 0, counter equals to 0. So dia check Counter is less than 20. Betul. Baru start kan program pertama. So counter 1. So true. Okay. Dia minta nombor daripada user. Okay, dia minta user kan? Minta user. Okay, dia tengok number user masuk. Contoh 5. 5 besar daripada 0. Betul. True. So dia akan masukkan 5 dalam total. And then print number yang ulang balik. Ulang sampai ke less ke 20. Alright. Number 11. Calculate and display the average for the first 30 positive integer. Okay, macam ni pun sama juga. Dia kata apa? First 30 positive integer. Positive integer ni dapat dari mana? Daripada user. So input dia adalah number lah daripada user. So this is how it looks like. Okay, so total equals to 0, average equals to 0. Kena bagi tahu komputer yang awak ada total, awak ada average. Alright. So and then while counter is less than 30, kenapa 30? Sebab dia dah kata dia nak 30 kali program ni run. Okay, so read number if number more than 0. Okay, so this is how to check if the number input by the user is positive. Okay, so this is how to check if number more than 0. And total equals to total plus number, counter equals to counter plus number. And if you have to mention this one. Takut tak nampak dah habis dah tamat dah and if tu. Okay, and if and then and while. Average baru kita kira average. Average equals to total bahagi 30. Mana dapat 30? Dia kata dah first 30. Right, and then print average. And this is how it looks like. Right, so read number, total, average equals to 0, counter equals to 0, counter less than 30, true, number more than 0, dia check positif atau negatif. Kalau positif, dia akan masukkan. Dia akan kira dalam total. Kalau tak, dia patah balik, dia minta nombor baru daripada user. Alright, sampailah lebih daripada 30, dia akan kira average and then print out average. Alright, and then end. That is for question 11. Question 12. Okay, for question 12, saya tengok ramai yang tak boleh buat. Question 12. Okay, so calculate the sum of all even numbers from 2 to 100. Okay, kat sini dia dah bagi tahu dah nombor daripada mana. 2 hingga 100. So dia tak perlukan input daripada user. Okay, so dia nak run sendiri. So begin total equals to 0. Counter equals to 2. Saya start dengan 2. Kenapa? Sebab dikata from 2 to 100. Okay, so to start dengan 2 counter while counter less than 100. Sampai 100 kan dia kata. So less than 100. If counter divisible by 2. Sebab apa dia check kat sini counter divisible by 2? Sebab dia nak sum of all even numbers. Even number je dia nak total. Kalau odd number tu dia tak nak total. Okay, so if counter divisible by 2, kalau dia even numbers, dia barulah total up. Kalau tak, counter equals to counter plus 1. Ulang balik. Ulang balik macam tu. Alright. Sampailah habis and then print total. So, okay, so that is for question 12. For question 13. For question 13, saya nak Mazliza daripada F14. Mazliza daripada F14. Okay, saya tunjuk awak semua. Mazliza daripada F14. Very good Mazliza. Kejap. Okay, this is number 13. Right? For number 13, apa dia minta? Number 13, calculate the area of 10 rectangles. So this is how Mazliza do. Okay, so begin counter equals to 0 while counter. Sini Mazliza dan awak semua, kamu-kamu semua ni, awak boleh berbosi, tak kisah apa-apa pun, tapi bila initialization awak sebut counter, so dalam while loop ni kena jadi counter juga, tak boleh C. Okay, kalau sini dah rugi dah, salah dah. Jadi semua sudut kod awak ni dah salah. Okay, so bila contoh aku tulis counter equals to 0, so while dalam loop ni kena ada counter juga, tak boleh C. Kalau nak guna mention, awak kena, kalau nak mention C, awak kena start begin C equals to 0. Okay? Faham ke?
Faham, Miss.
Faham, Miss.
Okay. Okay, so begin counter equals to 0 while counter is less than 10. Sebab apa less than 10? Dia kata dia nak 10 rectangles. So input width and length. Cara nak kira area, area equals to width times length. C equals to C plus 1 which is counter equals to counter plus 1 and while and print area. Okay, dia akan ulang selama 10 kali. Sebanyak 10 kali. Okay, so remember counter, kalau kita dah initialize counter tu nama dia counter. Dalam loop pun kita kena bubuh counter. Kalau kita initialize nama counter tu C, dalam loop pun jadi C. Alright, so make sure on that. Number 14. Okay, that is how it looks like lah. Kejap, saya nak tunjuk ni. Oh, ni. Flowchart. This is how you do it Kejap, macam ni. So counter equals to 0, dia check, okay, counter less than 10, true, input, ulang balik. Sampailah false, print area. Very good. Okay. Okay, boleh?
Boleh, Miss.
Boleh, Miss.
Yes, Z.
Tidak perlu lukis proses untuk formula area kah?
Formula saya baru perasan. Oh betul. Kat sini okey. Terima kasih SZ. Okey, flowchart dia saya baru perasan. Flowchart dia salah, Sudoku dia betul. Saya tak tahu kenapa dia punya itu. Okey, so flowchart dia salah Sepatutnya begin counter equals to 0. Counter less than 10. True. Dia akan buat apa kalau true? Input width and length. And then dia akan kira area equals to width times length. And then dia akan kira counter equals to counter plus 1. And then check balik. Alright, so that is how. Thank you. Thank you, Azzi. Also, dia kata tadi, kejap, apa soalan dia? Calculate the area of 10 rectangles. So, awak boleh buat dekat situ, setiap kali dia habis daripada satu loop, print area. Kalau awak buat macam ni, false print area, dia akan print area yang mana? Yang nombor 1 dia kira ke, round kedua ke, round ketiga? Kan susah kan kalau macam tu. Kalau macam tu, okay, so program pun akan confuse. Kalau awak pun confuse, program pun confuse. Okay, so what you do is you input with length C equals to C plus 1. Also print area. And then barulah patah balik ke atas tu, which is the counter punya loop tu. Alright. Next, question 14. Okay, for question 14. Grace from F13. Grace from F13. Ada tak Grace from F13? Okay, kejap. Saya tunjuk awak punya screen kejap. Okay. Cuba awak explain pada kawan-kawan awak macam mana awak buat. Soalan 14. Grace?
First, I start with begin. Then task equals to 0, total equals to 0, and then average equals to 0. So while the task is less than 10, the user can input mark. Then the system will read the mark. Then the total will be mark plus total. And then the task will be task plus 1. So and while then it will repeat again until the task is equals to 10. So then the system will print the average by calculating the total divided by 10. Then it will print average. Then the system will end.
Very good. Okay. That is how you do question 14. Okay. Test equals to 0. Okay. While test less than 10. Okay. Selagi test tu bukan 10. Less than 10. Dia akan ambil input mark. Okay. And then dia kira total of the mark. And then dia habis saja 10. Then dia kira average. Alright, so that is how you do it. So this is the flow chart. Okay, have a look at the flow chart. Allah, this one. Okay, so task equals to 0, total equals to 0, average equals to 0. Okay, they check task less than 10. Kalau true, input mark. Then process total equals to mark plus total atau total plus mark. Then process test equals to test plus 1. So the counter in this pseudocode then flowchart is test. Okay, so what Grace do, dia tukar counter tu kepada test. Okay, macam saya cakap sebelum ni, awak boleh bubuh nama apa-apa pun dekat counter, dekat variable awak, as long as you understand how it works. Right, and sama for each one. Tengok ni, Grace tulis test equals to 0. Dekat bawah pun test less than 10. And dekat process pun test equals to test plus 1. So make sure it's the same for every process. Right, so that is for question 14. Okay, for question 15. For question 15, kejap ya. Thank you, Grace. Question 15, F05, Sean. Sean ada? Sean ada? Mana Sean? Sean F05. Mana Sean F05? Tak ada? Okay, tak apa. So this is how...
Dia
Sean tak ada?
type dalam chat.
Dia kata apa tu? Kejap. Lagging. Okay. Okay, tak apa. So for question 15, saya terangkan apa yang Sean buat. Calculate and print the average of 3 tests. So apa yang soalan nak adalah untuk 30 soal, untuk 30 students, okay, dia nak kita kira the average of 3 tests. So what Sean buat is begin counter equals to 0 while counter less than 30. Okay, counter adalah 30. So maksudnya counter ni adalah students. Okay, selagi counter less than 30, input test 1, test 2, test 3. Also name. Okay, so name. Okay, so average equals to test 1 plus test 2 plus test 3 divide by 3. Okay, then print name and average. Lepas tu counter equals to counter plus 1. Akan ulang. Ulang sampailah 30 student. Lepas tu habis 30 student, end program. Okay, boleh faham yang ni?
Boleh, Miss.
Boleh. Okay. Alright. So this is how it looks like for the flowchart. So counter equals to 0, counter less than 30. Okay, kalau true, input test 1, test 2, test 3, name. Name ni optional lah. Kalau tak nak bubuh name pun tak apa. Okay, so input test 1, test 2, test 3. Then average equals to test 1 plus test 2 plus test 3 divided by 3. Print name and average, name optional. Counter equals to counter plus 1. And then patah balik ke atas, counter equals to 0. Right? Okay. That is how you do question 15. Okay. Thank you, Sean, for F05. Okay. The rest saya check ramai yang tersilap ya soalan tu. Also ramai yang hantar pun tak complete. Macam mana saya nak tahu yang awak faham ke tak soalan. Okay. Alright, let's have a look at question 16. Question 16. A program will determine the total and average price for a few items. So the number of items, bagi tahu dah, number of items will be entered by user at the start of the program. So dia bagi tahu input yang diperlukan adalah, the first one adalah number of item. So program tu akan accept number of item dulu, barulah program tu start. Sebab apa? Sebab program tu kena determine the total and average price for the number of item tu. Right, so this is the pseudocode. So begin, total equals to 0, average equals to 0, counter equals to 0, read number. Number apa? Number of item. Okay, while counter is less than number. Okay, so this is the main part lah. the key part here. So counter less than number. Okay. Faham tak? Counter less than number. Sebab apa number? Sebab number of item tu. Selagi number of item tu ada, dia akan minta price. Okay. Selagi less counter tu less than number of item. Okay, contoh. Okay, contoh. Kita tengok contoh lah. Contoh kat sini. Start, read number. Contoh number of item tu ada 2. So ada 2. Total equals to 0. Average equals to 0. Counter equals to 0. Then counter less than 2. Tadi number of item ada 2 kan? Counter less than 2. So kalau true, okay, dia akan read price. So bila read price, dia akan ambil item pertama punya price. Bila item pertama punya price, dia akan total up. Bila total up, counter plus 1. So naik ke sini, read number. Ni dah silap ni. Alamak, saya salah. Saya salah kat sini So sepatutnya ulang di sini. Di sini. Dia punya ni, arrow ni ke sini. Ke sini. Okay, so ke sini dia akan check. Counter tadi dah 1 kan? So 1 less than 2 ke? Ya, less than 2. So baca lagi price. Sampailah ulang sampai dah counter 2 tu equals to 2 number of item. So false, dia akan average the total bahagi dengan number of item tadi yang user masukkan dekat sini. So bahagi 2. So print average and end the program. Okay. Pembetulan di sini nanti saya betulkan. Okay, kat sini sampai ke sini saja. Dia akan check balik ulang balik ke sini. Bukan kat depan ni. Silap. Alright. So that is for question 16. For question number 17. Okay, given a list of daily temperatures for a certain number of days. Design an algorithm to calculate the total temperature. The first input is the number of days. Dah bagi tahu dah. First input, number of days. So apa dia perlukan? Dia perlukan number of days dulu, barulah program to run. Number of days ni adalah counter dia. Okay. So total equals to 0, counter equals to 0, dia akan read days. So while counter less than the days, read temperature. Then total equals to total plus temperature. Okay, sebab apa dia nak total? The temperature. Total temperature kat sini dia nak. So total equals to total plus temperature. And counter equals to counter plus 1 and while print total. Alright. So this is how it looks like. Ini pun saya salah juga. Okay, so sini saya salah juga So sini sampai sini saja. Arrow ni akan ke sini. Arrow ni akan ke sini, patah balik ke sini, bukan ke atas. Kat sini. Alright, so you see how important the arrow is. Kalau let's say dia pergi ke sini, dia akan start balik kat sini, read day balik. So tadi punya pengiraan tak dikira pun tadi. Faham tak kalau dia kira kat sini? So pembetulannya adalah arrow daripada sini ke sini untuk baca balik kalau program yang sama. Kalau tak, dia akan ulang balik program tu, dia reset balik yang sebelum ni. Right? So that is for question 17. The last question, number 18. A program will determine the total and average price for a few items bought by a user. Dia bagi tahu lah, few items bought by a user. Then the number of items will be entered by user at the start of the program. So, kena ada number of items. Saya rasa flowchart saya ni mesti salah lagi ni. Okay. So begin. Total equals to 0. Average equals to 0. Counter equals to 0. So read number. Number of apa? Number of item. Okay. Number of item. While counter less than number of item. Read price. Kira total. Counter plus 1 and 1. Habis je daripada looping, dia akan kira average and print total also average. Kenapa dia print total and average? Sebab dia kata determine the total and average. Alright, so this is how it looks like. Pun salah juga saya punya arrow. Okay, so betulkan kat sini, arrow ni sampai ke sini saja. Dia akan check sini. Dia akan pergi ke sini arrow tu. Dia tak pergi ke atas ni. Ni dah kira salah. Sini. Alright. Boleh? Number 18 dah habis dah?
Boleh miss.
Okay. Boleh. Okay. Saya harap semua yang boleh-boleh ni buat Ada yang tak hantar pun saya harap buat juga. Sebab kalau tak buat nanti awak lagi tak boleh buat coding. Sebab ni baru starting. Baru pseudocode, flowchart untuk awak faham flow of the code nanti later awak type. Okay, kalau nanti dah start coding awak tak faham apa. Alright. Also I have a question. I received a question from some of you guys. Okay. Yang mana very interested in Java, dah nak start Java coding by themselves. Okay, you guys can start downloading BlueJ, ataupun yang lebih expert yang pernah coding before this boleh try Eclipse, software Eclipse. Okay, also kalau siapa-siapa yang laptop dia very slow to a point yang macam tak boleh download any software anymore, okay, you can just use Notepad. Okay, Notepad, tapi make sure to save the Java files in .java lah. Macam ni adalah Sublime. Yang saya guna ni adalah Sublime. Kalau BlueJ dia lagi macam aesthetic lah, lebih cantik. Okay, so this is the Sublime punya coding. So you can see dia dah bagi tahu dah, dia dah beza-bezakan, very colourful, and also you can like set the colours and so on. Alright, so this is Sublime. Tapi kalau yang interested to more beginners, more to like macam tu baru saja nak berjinak pada coding, you can try BlueJ. Kalau yang dah biasa coding, boleh go for Eclipse also. Alright. Okay, itu sahaja. Kejap. Oh, laju semua nak left. Kejap. Ada satu lagi. Saya nak tunjukkan kawan awak punya kerja yang mana very kemas. Kejap saya tunjuk. F14. Mana F14? Ainul Aiman. Okay. Kalau tengok dia punya kerja very kemas. So if you do it like this kan, very clear. Awak sendiri boleh nampak, senang terus refer. Also, saya okay je mana-mana awak buat. Cuma saya just nak tunjuk je lah sebagai contoh yang very clear, very good show kan. Like this. Okay. Jangan tengok dia punya jawapan, saya just nak tunjuk okay, how we do it. Okay, Ainul Aiman, also Kalinia from F14. Okay, you can see here. See dia tulis problem analysis. Because most of you guys hanya tak tulis problem analysis, ignore the problem analysis, terus pseudocode. Tak ada pseudocode, tak ada flowchart kadang-kadang. Okay, so don't do like that. Because sometimes awak rasa macam awak dah boleh buat dah pseudocode, awak dah rasa awak boleh buat flowchart. And awak ignore, tak buat soalan-soalan tu kan. So jangan buat macam tu, nanti bila tu awak jadi confusing. Because flowchart dengan pseudocode lagi selalu awak tak buat, lagi senang lupa. Alright, so F15, F05, make sure to submit your work. Okay, F15, F05. Okay, take note F15, F05. Kalau tak submit your work, nanti adalah. Alright, itu sahaja for today's class. Saya akan bagi satu Java class for you guys to just try it on your laptop if you want. Okay. And then just try to just run it and have a look at how the looping works in real life. Okay, and that is all for today's class. If you have any question, macam biasa, just let me know. Yang berdiam diri dan tak hantar submission tu, saya harap sangat at least let me know lah mana yang awak tak faham, so that kita can go through together. Alright, that is all for today class. Thank you very much everyone.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you,
Thank
Miss.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Miss.